Welcome to Season 3 of Trap Talk.
Brought to you by Craigoff, the choice of champions.
All right, folks, we got to take a quick second and give a huge shout out to our title sponsor, Craigoff. Me and Ricky both shoot them. We both love them.
Yeah, best gun in the industry. I shoot them. I sell them. Nothing better, folks. Get yourself a Craigoff. Your scores will increase.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's got hundreds and hundreds of hundreds with his. I mean, I've got a few hundreds, but I'm always working to get a little bit better, and they definitely help me, that's for sure. So on top of that, we also got to thank Winnig. I'm wearing the shirt today. Love this shirt. If you're down at the Grand, pick one up.
Yeah, Winnig, like I said, Zach, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with my Winnig stock. You know, get a hold of Bobby, Luke, Bill, get an appointment set up. They will make you a better shooter with that Winnig stock.
Of course, yeah. The Grand's the great place to do it. Give them a call. Get on their book. It's worth your time.
Just remember, winners shoot Winnigs.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
Welcome back, Trap Talk listeners. I'm your host, Zach Danini. Today, I'm here with my co-host, Richard Marshall Jr., and we are going to discuss the U.S. Open results and the Western Grand and Vernal results. Welcome to the show, Ricky.
Thanks, buddy. I just see you.
I did just see you. What was it, yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah, it's fun. We're in the summertime. I'm getting that nice tan line from my blinders, and you're looking kind of good too. We're getting that sun-kissed color.
Well, I'm sitting in a hotel room in Little Rock, Arkansas. Just got done, teaching today at the Remington Gun Club.
Hey, shout out to Lone Oak, Arkansas, baby.
That's right. Great club. So was there. Got a great group of kids and college kids from University of Arkansas, Kazatop. So
Okay.
Brett Blackburn, the coach, he brings me down, and so it's been a good day. Now one more day, and then I'm heading up to Cleveland and see my good old buddy, not so slow Joe Charnigo.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys will talk a little bit about Ohio coming up and the back fence shootout and kind of what that's going to look like. I'm so excited for that. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing we've been talking about all summer long.
Yeah, exactly. So, I flew down here late last night. Didn't get to my hotel room and asleep till about 1:45 and made it to the gun club a little after 9 and just got back to the hotel room about 6 o'clock. So,
yeah, I mean, that's just part of the summer. I mean, we're pretty much going from shoot to work for both of us. You working on clinics and I'm working at the office. But you know what? It makes it all worth it because we get to go do some fun stuff. It's all coming up really soon.
That's right. Yep, we got Illinois State shoot. But, yeah, let's get into the good old U.S. Open, which I attended. I only shot 2 events.
So what events did you shoot? Just the handicap and the doubles?
I shot the handicap Tuesday or Wednesday and the doubles Wednesday. And as everybody on the show that listens and seen the post I put out, our good friend and one of my longtime squad mates and family friend, Bill Martin, passed away suddenly on Monday on the drive down. So I shot Wednesday, broke 92 in the handicap, and then I broke 100 in the doubles, and jumped on a plane Thursday morning, and flew out to Salt Lake, got a rental car, and drove to Vernal, and which the Western Grand was going on. So I, stopped by and saw the family and, Bill's family and such, WD and Jay Lee and Chase and Leanne and the kids, and so condolences to them. Attended the funeral. Great service. Dave Kelly came down, and Cynthia and Jeff Wagner been on the show, and his lovely wife Courtney came.
Probably
down.
A lot of guys from the show were there.
Yeah, Jerry and Christy Williams. Jerry was actually a speaker at the funeral, along with Bill's son WD. Did a great speech and something tough that I know a lot of us I couldn't probably do. And get through it. But I went out to the gun club, saw Sean and Stacy, and Bullard and Justin and Wyatt Debris were there, and of course our show sponsor, Outlaw Engineering, Randall Freston.
Yeah, and he made the 27-yard line too, didn't he?
Yeah. So Randy made the 27, broke a 97. I think he actually ran the back 50 for it. Broke 25-22, back 50. So awesome for Randy. Congrats making the 27 your first time. That's awesome. And then Coop, Coop shot well. He won the handicap championship in the shoot-off against Trace Huber. yesterday, and I think Coop won a singles event too, and so but he broke his first 100 in the singles championship. So that's awesome.
I know he's been working a lot with you, and you've been helping him. And Coop's just a great kid, and we're excited to see all the great thing that he's got coming for him down the line. I mean, he obviously loves the game. He's competitive. Yeah. I mean, hashtag where's Coop at? That's
where's Coop?
Where's Coop? Where's Coop? But getting back to the Western, and I don't want to sidetrack Bill's passing either.
No,
Bill meant a lot to the sport. And to a lot of people, and he was always very good to me. And I think we're kind of going back and forth between the U.S. Open and Vernal now. But the one thing that was really cool that they did at the U.S. Open was they took the flags to half mast on the day of his funeral, just to to commemorate him for everything he's done to the ATA and the Hall of Fame and all of the shooters. I mean, he's helped out a lot of people personally. And just the whole family was a trap shooting family, and it's a big blow to trap shooting. The only thing I could think is when we lose someone, this community really does come together. I mean, you see everyone really care about it and go in that zone. So prayers for the whole Martin family and every one of the friends for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it was good. I was in Vernal till I flew back Saturday morning, jumped on nonstop and got back. But Scott Overchain won the singles, broke a 200. There was I think 3 of them, but Scott ended up winning the shoot off, and then Bruce Bradley had a lone 100 in the doubles, and then Bruce had a lone 99 in the handicap, is what I understand, and then so he won the all around also. But then one of our good buddies, who's been on the show, won the HOA. And that was Sherrod Oaks. So congrats to Sherrod. Local, hometown kid, So
Sherrod's the man.
Yep.
So I love Sherrod.
Hey, so he got a little bit of Papa Craig's gold. So
that's another guy who's just always in the game no matter what. And with what he's got going on now, he's working. He's not full-time trap shooting.
Nope.
And we talk about that all the time, how guys have to try to balance work with shooting and still make it work, and he's one of those guys that's a lifer. He's never going anywhere. He keeps coming back. He competes, and he competes at a high level. I mean, at Vernal, there's no lack of competition when you go to Vernal. There is some of the best shooters in the whole country there, and to say that you won the overall there, in my mind, that's an incredible feat because Sean throws a really good target.
Oh yeah,
it's a high altitude target, and the scores are monsters.
They went back to the slotted top targets.
Do they call that Eclipse, or what do they call that?
No, that was the original name of it. It's called the Western now.
Okay.
From White Flyer. That's the new name of it. And so Sean said they did well because Weston Anderson got his 100 from the 27, I think, earlier in the week. Chandler Brown, he broke 100 from the 27 the next day. So they had a lot of good scores out there this year. A lot of good scores in the doubles. I think Wyatt broke 100 in the doubles the first day. Debris.
Yeah, so. Wyatt knows how to shoot them doubles. I mean, I've seen him pound. I've been shooting next to him. I mean, even at Missouri, he was just pounding them left and right. He broke a 99 in the doubles championship in Missouri, and we were in a heavy rainstorm. Not to talk about Missouri, but just bringing him up, it was like it was raining. It was raining so hard, and he was just in them and just boom, boom, pounding them. And I'm like, he's got great ability, especially in doubles in my mind. I mean, he just picked it up really well. Some people are natural. Some people, I think, have natural talent in doubles. I don't know if it's timing or staying in the gun, but some people get it and some people don't. Some people have to work at it really, really hard, and some people it's just like, yep, doubles. Luckily, I've always really liked doubles. I felt like they were the most fun for sure.
Hey, I broke my first 200 in doubles before I broke a 200 in singles.
Hey, I knew you did. Now the rest of the world knows too.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. But yeah, it was. So it looked like the shoot went very well for Sean and Stacy out there. So then I flew back to the Open, but I was getting updates every day.
Yeah,
because Tyler and Jody stayed back, And
I was there at the Open, Tyler, Jody. I mean, the rest of we had the Trap Talk studio. And before we transition to U.S. Open, I want to focus a little bit more on Vernal. For people that haven't been, could you explain like the terrain, and could you explain like the gun club layout and all that stuff? Because I know some people have put Vernal on their bucket list of where they need to go. And, you know, what do they need to know about Vernal specifically?
Well, you have 3 banks. There are 4 trap banks. So you have trap 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are at the top, and they kind of sit like this. Okay? So 1, and then 2, and then 3 is down, as you know. And then, so if you shoot on 1, you go to 4. 2 to 5, 3 to 6. Then 1 to 7. You go 1, 4, 7, 10.
They always skip 3.
Yeah. So people sometimes don't like shooting at the top. The background is different. So it's like shooting at 4 different gun clubs. But Sean throws one of the best targets in the country. And this was the first year I've missed it in 16 years of either the Western Grand in June or the June shoot, the Uinta Basin shoot, they used to call it. So
I've had a lot of good memories from that shoot. We could probably get a bunch of people on and just do a basin shoot memorial and talk about all the fun times that they had with Ronnie Millsap down there and the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And I mean, who else? Who are some of the?
We had Chris Ledoux's kids. Their band.
Neil McCoy came out.
Western Underground. Well, yeah, Neil McCoy. And folks, if if I can find the picture in about 10 seconds, possibly,
maybe.
Neil McCoy, I've got a picture of Neil McCoy and Trey, and I mean, you know, we had a lot of good times. Neil McCoy, Trey, and Sherrod together, but it might take me a little bit to find it. So
yeah, that was another, you know, hats off to Bill, because I know Bill was big time in getting the entertainment to go down there. And, you know, I can't speak on it formally, but I'm pretty sure, you know, he was, you know, donating to get them to come or whatever that took to bring them out. But I mean, the nightlife at Vernal, I mean, I could remember there was always dice games going. I mean, we had Steve Smith, Dave Kelly, and the whole crew, just, you know, big old dice tables.
There's Pat Green.
Yeah, there we
go. At Vernal, and then there was Petey's helicopter. Trey getting rides in the helicopter. You know, I mean, those are cool stuff like that.
See, I remember when he was that young, because we had the fifth wheel there, and he would always come by and play Guitar Hero with me.
Guitar Hero with you.
Yeah, we'd hook that Guitar Hero. Be like, hey, can I play Guitar Hero with Zach? And I'm like, yeah, come on over. And so we'd sit there and we'd play Guitar Hero, and then we'd shoot. But you know, that was when I mean, 15, 16, 17. I mean, those were some of my core trap shooting memories. I remember me and Steph Carmichael running around Vernal every year and just loving every minute of it, driving golf carts. But, you know, back to the layout, you know, if you haven't seen it, like you said, it's different.
It's like a J.
It's kind of it almost reminds me, and I know it's not the same, but it almost reminds me of Middletown with that horseshoe gun club, except now you have elevation. So you can imagine. You can imagine a J, like Ricky said, where at the top of the hill, you're at a much higher plane and you're shooting into the sky. And then it's wrapping around and coming down the hill. And as you come down the hill, now you're shooting into a flat background. But in some areas, you know, some traps, I would say probably 5. Trap 5, you're basically looking back up to, you know, trap 1 and 2. I mean, as you can kind of see the targets. It
wouldn't be trap 5. It'd be trap 7.
7, okay.
Yeah, because you got... It goes and then goes around. So it's about trap 7, 8 is when you're looking back up, somewhere in there.
All right, Trap Talk listeners, let's take a couple seconds and thank a couple more sponsors. First of all, Remington's been with us since day one. I've been shooting these shells since 2007. I shoot the Nitro 27 from the 27-yard line, ounce and eighth, 7.5, and STS ounce and eighth, 8s for singles and doubles. They've worked great for me, as they do a lot of top shooters all around the country. Give them a try. Don't forget the gun club line when you're practicing and you're wanting to save a little bit of money.
We'd also like to thank another sponsor, Outlaw Engineering. Randy Freston, R2. I've known Randy since 1988. They do engineering, surveying, drafting, GIS, civil, structural, land development. wetland permitting. They do
And
it
they're
all.
friends of trap shooters. I mean, they're a trap shooting family. They've been in the ATA forever. His dad's been involved. They're involved. They're a beautiful family. They're great people. And we just love that they listen to the show, and we love that they support Trap Talk.
Yeah, his dad was past president in 1989. So I really want to thank those guys for the support. I really appreciate it.
All right, folks, we got to take a quick second and give a shout out to the Cardinal Center in Marengo, Ohio. They hold the Cardinal Classic, and they also hold the Ohio State Shoot, which is home of the first back fence shootout. Ricky, what do you think about Ohio?
Listen, I love the Cardinal Center. I actually broke the first 100 from the 27 there at their very first shoot ever. Great place, Jake Spangler and their whole clan there. They do an awesome job at running the shoots. The Ohio State shoots ran by the Ohio State Association. The Cardinal Classic's right after the Grand. So if you're looking for some more points right after the Grand, hit that up so you can get a little more points than old Zach here. But listen, it's a great shoot. Great facility.
It really is. I personally love the RVs. They've got great camping there. They've got a great time, good shoot, good target presentation. Go check it out. It's worth putting on your list. Hey, Trop Talk listeners, let's take a quick second to thank a couple more amazing sponsors. SOS Clays Shoot Management. They're doing a fantastic job. I love the app. I love being able to see everything on my phone instantaneously. It's freaking awesome. Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, Greg Pink and his group over there. I mean, they've got majority of the satellite grands, majority of the state shoots. I think it's 40 plus state shoots they're doing. But the app, honestly, we were doing a little beta testing with that at the Spring Grand. It's awesome. You can see your squad if they paid. You know, you can see your options, your payouts. The whole works at your fingertips. Great deal. They're just
Ricky knew how much money he made before he even got off the line. He was like, hey, I'm buying lunch. I'm like, yeah, good job. We're good to go.
That's
we
right.
also got gun and trophy insurance. I mean, they're the best in the business. I know they're great price. Ricky, you're familiar with them, right?
Yeah, Cole and Larry Cushman been long-time supporters of myself, and I've been a supporter of them, and, you know, especially with my college team. You know, we require insurance. It's so fast and easy to sign up and get your insurance in literally 10 minutes. You can have your guns insured, and they're just great. They're great to deal with. Like I said, you can do your trophies also, you know, your wildlife animals and that such, and your guns. It's just a great
It's always good when you're traveling around to have that peace of mind and know that you don't have to worry about losing your stuff forever. And these are expensive things, especially when you got those Craigoffs. You got to keep them insured. All right, folks, we got to take a real quick break and acknowledge the official target of the ATA, White Flyer. They've been sponsoring us since the beginning, and they make a great target. What do you think, Rick?
It's the best target in the ATA. Shout out to everybody there, all the reps, you know, Bill Daniels, Josh Taylor, Nick Arnold, Robert Crow, everything they do for the sport and all the shoots. Really appreciate it.
They're always there. They're always trying to make a better target, and they're always supporting the game that we love so much. With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
yeah, and I guess in that type of situation, do you have any professional advice for going to a gun club that has, you know, different backgrounds throughout the traps? I mean, is there anything that you're telling people to do to prepare for that, or is it just look at the target?
Just look at the target.
Yeah, that's the best advice in the world. Look at the target really hard, hold still, shoot the damn thing, right?
Yeah, if you're looking at something else, you're not going to break targets.
And I think that just to, you know, give people some value today, there's so many places, whether it's Vernal or whether it's Ohio or whether it's wherever, where the backgrounds are so different between trap to trap. And I think people get caught up in, you know, I've heard people say in Ohio, well, if they shoot on the right side and, you know, they're looking at the warehouse or whatever, I mean, it distracts them. And I try to focus on only the bird, right? I mean, it's at the end of the day, you can't always pick what bank you get. So if you get thrown on a bank, the only thing you can do is make the absolute best of it. And you can't go into it with a losing attitude of, oh, I drew the bad bank today and now I'm going to be upset. You have to just know, okay, this is what we got. This is the lay of the land. How are we going to perform at our highest level? And in order to do that, you just have to go back to what works, which is, you know.
It's like any club you go to. If you worry about the background of the club, you're worrying about something that you can't control, because the background's not going to change. It's not like they're going to, you know, oh, hey, let me go take out these trees for you, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, let me go move that building.
Yeah, no. Not going to happen. So
and
you
another
just
one
worry
that's
about the target.
the one that background, if I could, the one that background, if I could, this is now we're giving shout outs all over the country, but if we're talking background difficulty, Martinez Gun Club. I mean, you know that gun club. I mean, just with everything they got going on with that refinery in front of you and kind of that movement there. I mean, it's just you got to be laser focused on what you're looking at. And I think at the end of the day, shooting in those places and going all around the country like you do, Rick, and seeing different backgrounds, at the end of the day, it just helps.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And that's why it's like I tell people, go look at the target, not worrying about the background, So, but Vernal's a great place. So, folks, I'll be back out there next year for the Western. That's our plan. Since Tyler graduated, we can,
make the trip.
Get to some different shoots too, possibly. So.
Yeah, it's a great time. I love Vernal. I love the people. I love the crowd. I love Sean and Stacy running the shoot the way they do. They give great trophies. It's one of the best shoots in the country, and if you haven't done it, you have to do it. You have to put it on your bucket list of shoots to do. I mean, for me, it's one of those things where I miss Vernal as much as I miss anywhere, and I'm probably gonna at some point in time, maybe flip flop U.S. Open and Vernal and do that. But it's just it's so hard for me because we're back to back on shoots, and it goes Missouri U.S. Open, and it's only an hour and a half away. And with the studio there, and with people wanting to get some merchandise, we had some people come into the store and get some hats and shirts and things like that. And it's nice to kind of get that presence of. In my mind, I call it the mini grand. It's you're shooting on. You're shooting on the shoot-off banks. You're getting a feel of it. You're getting the feel of the shoot-off energy that you have through the loudspeaker when they're calling you up. It's the same crew of people running that shoot, and I just really, really, really enjoy it. So, transitioning, we definitely missed you at the U.S. Open, Ricky. I mean, I'm sure some people didn't miss you with all those scores you break, but it was one of those things where I expected you to be there. I mean, we had every intention of you being there all week long, and then things happen, and we have to adjust and move forward. All right, Trap Talk listeners, we got to take a quick break, and we got to welcome a new sponsor to the show, RGS Bore Stripper. It's a great product. Ricky, tell them how they can find it.
Go to their website, rgsguncleaner.com. You can get the 1 8-ounce bottle, free shipping, 2 8-ounce bottle, and you get the 2-ounce travel bottle, and it's free shipping also, or just get the little 2-ounce bottle for travel.
Yeah, they sent me some of this product, and I used it on my Krieghoff choke tubes the other day, and it got the plastic out like in a minute, and it was super cool and super good. So if you like cleaning your gun, you like eliminating plastic, and you like shiny bores, give them a try for sure. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
Yeah, we'd really like to thank John Weber, the owner, for the support. He's doing an awesome job.
Yeah, we really want to thank John. We appreciate the support of the show. Anybody that supports Trap Talk, you guys need to support them and get this stuff because it's awesome.
And with that, let's get back to the show.
Getting to the U.S. Open, I mean, there were some huge scores. So the targets were fantastic. The target setting team did a great job of setting. Ian Lawrence was above and beyond ahead of everybody going into Sunday. The reality is he was only down 6 birds, 6 out of the first 900 in the overall, and he was on pace to set an overall record as far as score broken, because I believe it's 992 out of 1,000. Is that correct? So he 992.
That's the grand score. So technically, U.S. Open. I mean, you break it, that wouldn't be the record for the grand, because it'd just be the record at Sparta, but different targets, different time of year.
I guess what I'd like to know, if any of our listeners know, if there's a number of out of 1,000, what the highest is. My belief was out of 1,000, it was 992 by Leo. Is that the highest? Brand. But how about anywhere? I know Leo had that 1196 out of 1,200 in Ohio.
Would be the highest. I think Ray Stafford broke 995 one year out of 1,000 at the Western Grand in Salt Lake City, is what it was. But Leo's 1196.
Yeah, I mean that's the greatest shooting in my mind that ever happened in the history of trap shooting, the 1196 out of 1,200. But to compare it, there's not a lot of places that throw 1,200 high overall programs, right?
It wasn't a high overall program.
It was not.
I don't think so. I'm checking.
We'll take a minute. Well,
Yeah.
you look that up, and I'll keep covering the U.S. Open. So,
Absolutely.
so like we had, Ian Lawrence ended up with a 988. He ended up with a 94 on Sunday, which was not shabby.
No.
Keith Ditto came in with a 979 out of 1,000. I came in third with a 977. Dagan Voigtman had a 976, and then Wyatt Williams broke a 974. So those were the top 5 out of the 1,000. In the all-around, Wyatt Williams ended up winning with a 390.
Did he win the shoot-off?
He didn't shoot off with Keith. So Keith, I talked to Keith about it, and Keith's like, I got enough out of this shoot. I'm very happy with what I did. I want to go home. And so Keith left. So, so Wyatt Williams, there was no shoot off. I tried to say, hey, go to a gunfight on this deal, but Keith he had enough, and he was ready to get home, and he had a long drive. And
well, yeah,
so
I heard Keith wanted to flip. And Wyatt said, "Nope, we ain't."
No,
flipping.
he said
We
no,
shooting."
no flippy, we shooting, and
Which I agree. Honestly, I'm gonna just say it. You didn't get to the shoot by flipping. So
well, yeah. I think there's scenarios. There's scenarios,
not
though, right?
for championships. Not for championships.
I think one day your big heart's going to melt and you're going to take care of somebody just like Kay did for you. He's going to say, hey,
Not
here's
for
the
you.
ring. Not for me, never for me. But there's going to be someone someday you're going to win a big ring and you're like, you know what? You can have it
it's
and give
one of
back to
those
the
things,
sport.
Yeah, that's I think shooting off, but
All right, Trap Talk listeners, we got to take a real quick break, and I've got something that I'm so excited to announce. Trap Shooting USA has now become the official magazine of the Trap Talk podcast.
no, it's not only Trap Shooting USA now. It's Wing and Clay Life, Lady Outdoor Lifestyles, and Clay Shooting USA.
I'm just really excited because they make such a high quality magazine. I mean, if you guys haven't had these magazines and you actually get to touch them in your hands, they've got really thick paper, they're really glossy, and they keep it really cool. I mean, I just love it.
The Traveling Gunsmith, and then in this newest episode, we have
Oh man, look at those handsome guys. I love this. I love it. So also on top of that, Outdoor Pursuits Media, Matt, he's decided that he's going to give away a shotgun at the Grand American this year at our live podcast studio. If you weren't there last year, you missed out. You need to be there this year. It's going to be great. The only thing you have to do is either renew or subscribe to any one of these magazines, and you're going to be in for the drawing for the gun. And we're going to have all that information in the future. Just look out for it, and we'll keep you updated for sure.
With that, let's get back to the show. I just did look, and you were correct. The overall, it was 1,200 for the HOA, and he did break 1196 with missing 2 targets the first day.
I love hearing that. You were right. That's something I don't hear a lot, so I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, he won. He broke an 1196, and Harlan was runner-up with 1178, so an 18 target spread.
Yeah, it was
399 in the all-around that year. Yeah, no, Leo shot awesome. And he missed a singles target, too.
People were watching that at the time of, and it was ungodly. But to the handicap at the U.S. Open, Wyatt Williams broke a lone 100.
Lone 100, which was his second 100?
Second or third. I'm not.
Second or third. Yeah,
second or third. Second or third. I was standing right next to Keith Ditto, and he missed number 12 and ended up breaking a 99, and it was a solid 99 for sure. And our friend David Swigert broke a 97. So there was a lot of big scores on Sunday. To the doubles, Ian Lawrence broke 100. Bob Robertson broke 100, and
you broke 100.
I just lucked my way into another.
Listen, and I showed up for the shoot off to watch, and I didn't make it there for the first pair, and you guys were cranking out targets, and I said to Tyler, because he got there because he had to shoot off, and I said, hey, what's going on? He said, Zach and Bob lost dead on the first pair. And I was like, oh, and he goes, yeah, Zach actually almost did a Dutch to pair.
Oh, no, I didn't.
He said.
I did miss that first target clean. It went up, and my head just kind of peaked, and I'm like, oh, look at that thing. And I went into one of these, and then I got back down on the gun and broke the other one. And then Bob followed me right down the rabbit hole. So he lost dead on his, too, just like I did. And I'm like, well, there you go, Ian. I mean, that's what we call, here's it on the silver platter. And then Bob ended up going dead lost on the next pair after that. So it ended up being Ian broke a 20.
Bob had to take.
Yeah.
vet.
He was going sub vet. So he won sub vet champion. I won runner up, and Ian won champion. For the 200s on Saturday, Raylan Douglas broke one, Scott Jens, Ian, Andrew Tilford, Keith Ditto, Gilbert Palmer, White Williams, and Stephen Margario. And I'm trying to see, I think Tilford ended up winning champion. So, so he broke the 200 and lasted in the shoot off, and Keith Ditto got runner up on it. So, they were shooting at the top of their game for sure. Pretty much covered all of it. I mean, we got the high overall, the high all around, the singles, the doubles, the handicap. But all right, folks, we got to take another quick break and thank one of our show sponsors, 73 Pointers Ranch, Jonesburg, Missouri. Rick and Carla Burke, best place in the area to go shoot chuckers and pheasants and have a great time. Rick, we got to get you down there.
Yeah, I need to come in. Hopefully I can do some hunting with you guys and come to your the annual clay shoot in August right after the Grand.
It's a lot of fun. It's the Optimist Club charity shoot. They throw a charity shoot. They put it on, and it's wonderful. I think last year they had over 100 entries into it, and it's just a good time. With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
I just don't know if it's the weather, if it's just because it's the beginning of June, if it's everybody's excited to shoot on those traps, but for some reason the scores just seem to really jump off the page at the U.S. Open. I mean, it's I don't even think they're as high at the Grand sometimes. I mean, they are. It's just a lot more shooters, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wasn't there till the Saturday afternoon. I got to watch Tyler shoot that handicap after the singles, and he broke a stellar 95, and he got to shoot off that night.
Tyler shot well. I mean, he broke a 965 out of 1,000, and I watched him all week because after the first day, I'm looking at who's where, and I'm like, well, there's Tyler right there.
He was in the top 10 the whole time, and he led junior HOA the whole time. And I was following that from out in Vernal because he broke 100 the first day in the singles. He went like 195 caps, 97 doubles. And he actually broke 96 the first day doubles, and then 3 97s in a row. And I was watching him. He did a great job. I mean, just following his scores because I followed him before. I felt like out of 1,000, that was probably one of his better performances that he's had. I mean, as consistently, not really throwing any bad events in there because normally people will throw a bad event in there every once in a while. He had a 90 on Friday's handicap. He said, and it was windy when they shot, but his handicaps were all in the 90s in the overall, and then he had 100. And then he went out for the singles championship, and he broke 96, and then he broke the back 100, and then 97 in the doubles championship, and then 93. So he ended up winning the junior HOA, and which was awesome for him. That was his first junior HOA at the U.S. Open, first time shooting the U.S. Open for him. So
he did really good.
Yeah, he did awesome. I was proud of him. And then they went and had a orientation today at Lindenwood. For college, so he got all his class schedule and everything figured out, and so he's ready for college.
So talking a little bit more about U.S. Open to give people some things that they could digest. If they haven't been to the U.S. Open and they've been to the Grand, everything is pretty much shot on the west side. So there are a few traps on the east side that are opened up for Saturday's singles. There's a few banks. I think it's going to be 2 banks for regular.
No, there's more than that. There's
12, for regular, 13, the aim goes all the way that way, right?
12, 13, 14, and 15 they used.
And then how far do they keep going for the aim? Because they had a lot more banks. Well, they did
that, and I don't understand that aspect of it. We won't get into that here. I'm not in agreement on a lot of that. If you're going to have people soap and shoot, let them shoot with everybody instead of preferential stuff.
I don't know if it's as much preferential as it is just the size and the amount of people that are showing up, and they need to open up that many more banks for that singles.
Open them up and let everybody have at them.
Yeah, let them run. But I think for an attendance factor, obviously, it helps boost the numbers for sure when you have all these people showing up and shooting, and for me, I like shooting on the east side or on the west side just because it gives you an opportunity to shoot some of the banks that you might be shooting in shoot-offs for the Grand, because you would know this. How wide do they shoot offs at the Grand? I mean, how far to the left or how far to the right are they from the grandstands?
They'll go bank 3 sometimes. So down to the west side, but yeah, I mean, I've shot at about every bank there. So originally, you know, selling guns for Game Masters when it was, you know, open. I always like to shoot down there just because I was so close to the building and such. So we'll see this year. I might change it up and shoot down on the other end. Not sure yet.
Just see how it feels. I mean, I think they're both good. I mean, if you look at the scores, you can't say that anyone's at a disadvantage shooting on the grandstand side. I think a lot of people at the Grand are like, oh, I don't want to shoot the grandstand side. But, I mean, Ian Lawrence just shot, the score that he shot without ever leaving.
988.
988. You know, so if you could do that, I mean, Keith Ditto had the 398 out of 400, and White Williams 398 out of 400. Hunters from the 27 in the SOS handicap, and on Sunday I think there's 200s that week shot.
There was a 20-yarder on the SOS, and then Wyatt Williams.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of hundreds and doubles, a lot of hundreds and singles, a lot of quality stuff.
All right, folks, we need to take a quick second and get to a new show sponsor, Big Red Motorsports. Big Red, they're personal friends of mine, Jason and George Lee, and they're also a personal sponsor of mine.
Now, I'll say this. Ricky looked great driving around in that side-by-side. I got some free rides down at Tucson, the Autumn Grand. I think it's awesome that they deliver all across the country, and obviously they love trap shooters, they love trap shooting, and they're doing a great job.
Listen, they got Can-Am, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Triton trailers. Hit them up. We'll take care of you guys. With that being said,
let's get to the show. One question that I got from a couple people that walked in the store and asked me this, and I want your opinion on it, that they said, Zach, I feel like these houses are a lot taller than what we're used to at a lot of shoots across the country, like an example, Missouri, where the houses are a little flatter. Do you personally make any adjustments when you're shooting on taller houses like that? Is there anything, like you go to Ohio and the houses are different sizes, is there anything that you're teaching your students or saying, hey, this is what you should do or this is how you should look at it? Or what's your opinion on that, Rick?
No, I just shoot each club to each club. I don't worry about, well, this house is taller. I mean, yeah, it's going to be taller. I've shot at clubs at their ground level houses. You know, the grass goes up to the back of the house, you know, and such. So I hold on the house, so it don't bother me at all changing whatever the look is.
Now, I know you're always on the house, but do you ever go deeper in the house, or is it pretty much like on the front lib and that's your spot no matter what?
Front lip, that's it.
It doesn't change. You don't go deeper. You don't raise it up. It's just kind of, that's my spot, and I lock it down, and you just adjust your move to the bird and your trigger control. That's all you're adjusting.
Yep.
That way everything remains constant for you.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it that way, I really don't think there's a lot to adjust, right? It makes this one less thing you have to think about.
It is, and that's the one thing is you don't want to get your mind working, and then you're going to miss targets because you're thinking about something you don't even need to worry about. You got no control over it.
Yeah. No, that I agree with that. I know there's a lot of different shooters out there doing different things. I mean, we got, you know, the Rich Bullards of the world that are holding high, you know, and Keith Ditto, I talked to him a little bit about it, and he's like, yeah, I just hold points here and there a little bit sometimes, and yeah, I just think it's everyone has their way of doing it. I like to hear the way you do it.
Ditto holds over the house and such, so that makes a big difference.
Correct.
You know.
But I guess for U.S. Open, if people were going to put that on their list of shoots to try out and they haven't done it, you know, is there any good feedback or any, you know, thoughts about it?
This is the first time I've been to the Open in several years, so I mean, it's shooting at Sparta. It doesn't hurt, but I will be going back to the Western Grand because just I just like shooting the Western Grand.
Yeah,
I like Vernal more, and the gold coins you can win, and the trophies and such.
There's definitely a lot more money to be won and trophies to be won as far as the package of the trophies, the quality of the trophies at the Vernal Western Grand. I mean, there's no doubt that that's the case. But if you're in the Midwest and you're not going to go to Vernal and you're going to pick one or the other. I mean, they throw a damn good target at the U.S. Open, and it's a fun
Yeah, you got
time.
the U.S. Open, and then you got also the Buckeyes going on at the same time at the Cardinal Center. So
Yeah, because Joey was at that one, right?
Joey dominated that shoot. So
Yeah, we'd have to call Joey and figure out
we'll
all
have
the
to
stuff.
get Joey. When I get up there, maybe we'll jump on and talk about not so slow. Joe.
Yeah, not so slow, Joe. I mean, sometimes the targets are out when he shoots, sometimes they're not. I mean, it's just
old
how
bang pole.
It's old bang pull. But all in all, it's I will say that the new restaurant up there is a lot higher quality. We had food up there a couple times, and I know it was Native Restaurant before, but I think they changed the name to Shooter's Restaurant or something like that. But it's the same owner.
We didn't go up there because they had weddings going on the weekend.
Yeah, they had some events, but I was able to slide in there and have dinner a couple times. And honestly, it made me happy that the food was high quality because, as that place has changed hands, I remember when it was JT Caliber's, the food was excellent. And then it went through a couple other people and it wasn't as good. And I feel like the people that got a hold of it right now are delivering a pretty high quality meal. As far as a gun club meal. I mean, because when you're there all week long, yeah, you're going to cook and yeah, you're going to do this and that. But I think the biggest problem with Sparta, especially at the Grand, is everyone's packed. I mean, you go to a restaurant in town, I mean, everywhere is packed, and that's why a lot of people end up, camping and staying on the grounds and cooking and doing that deal.
Yep. No, that's why, we always, bring a ton of meat down and then even get the old smoked pork chops and, the old ribeye sandwiches.
Well, and then we got Butcher's Block. You got to throw them a shout out. So we had that. The Butcher's Block had their trailer out behind the grandstands. I pretty much all week, I think, and I mean, quality foods there. They don't ever miss on that deal. So you're not going to go hungry when you go there. I mean, that's important. That's important for us. We don't want to lose nourishment, right?
Nope.
Hey, Trap Talk listeners, we got to take a real quick break, and we got to thank Ron Prescott from Mid-State Precious Metals for everything they do for the trap shooting community, coast to coast, for all your gold and silver buying needs. And on top of that, new announcement, they're a sponsor of the 126th Grand American.
Finally, he said it right, folks. Grand American. Yeah, Ron is a great guy. He's a sponsor of the Backfence Shootout at Nevada State Shoot and Ohio State Shoot. And also, we got our gold for our Trap Talk event at Nevada State Shoot. And the 77th annual Nevada State Shoot, they bought all theirs from him. 680 ounces of silver to be exact, folks. You're missing out if you're not there.
That's a lot of silver. And honestly, if you're not buying from Ron, you're probably overpaying. So whether you're buying it for your gun clubs or your shoots or for your personal use, you got to give them a try because they're big supporters of the Trap Shooting Nation. So it's awesome. With that being said,
let's get back to the show. So I'm just teaching here and heading to Cleveland and teach up there and then headed home and jump in the truck and drive back for Illinois State and Ohio State.
So we're looking forward to Illinois. Me and Ricky are going to be Illinois and Ohio. We're going to probably get some content there and do some episodes. We got some really great guests lined up that we're about to interview that I think you guys are all going to enjoy, and we're just excited for the summer of trap shooting. We've got a whole bunch of merchandise that we're bringing to Ohio. We've got some new hoodies. We've got some new hats, some new shirts that we're all going to kind of unveil for the first time at Ohio at the Backfence Shootout. So if you're there, make sure to hit us up. We'll have the table open. We'll have some stuff. And then the Grand store is going to be stocked full. So when you come to the Grand, we'll have that open AIM weekend, and we'll be having all kinds of good stuff for you guys to check out and potentially say hi and ask some questions and maybe even write some stuff down that you guys want to have on the show. Please feel free to send questions, comments, share, anything you can, and any content that you're missing and you want us to cover. We're here for it, and we love chatting it up about trap shooting, as you know. So
absolutely.
Well, Rick, before we part out of here today, is there anything else we're missing? Is there any shout outs you want to give or any Rick James good advice that you want to give to the listeners?
Get out, shoot some practice. We hope to see you guys at Illinois State Shoot at Brittany Shooting Park. Illinois is always a great state shoot. The Moore family run that club and do an awesome job. Lauren, that's her grandma and grandpa's club, and so her and her mom and her aunt and stuff, they do an awesome job over there. So I'm looking forward to shoot Illinois, but just have fun. You got any questions? Stop us, ask questions. don't be standoffish or scared. Just come up, and if you got any questions, ask us. And
I know I'm not as approachable, but I'll answer questions if people come up to me. I mean, I'm okay with it. So we're here. I'll try not to be mean. I know I usually got that scowl on my face when I'm walking around, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. I can't change who I am.
Well, folks, we appreciate y'all listening, liking, and subscribing. We'll see you at the next shoot.
Happy Friday. We'll see you all soon. Thanks for tuning in.
And the Trap Talk podcast is brought to you in part by
RM Shooting Clinics. Have Ricky take your game to the next level. If you want to shoot hundreds, give Ricky a call today. Zach Nannini Financial. We believe in putting people first.